Hi, everyone. This is Annette, your host of the Truths We Hide podcast. Today's guest is CiCi Owen. And let me just tell you, I have never been so speechless in a recording before. CiCi is an amazing woman, having spent decades as a law enforcement and corrections officer and growing up in the environment that she has. One of the things that I loved that she has lived by is I was being forged by fire. So let that sink in your head. Listen to her story and just sit back and think about everything that we go through in our lives. And then meeting an incredible woman such as CiCi, it just changes everything. So thank you for being here. Thank you for turning in to another week, another episode, and listen to her story.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Awesome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that.
Same to you. Thank you so much.
You know you was created for such a time as this, right?
I'm sorry, I was what?
Created for such a time as this.
I thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I think so. Okay, so you want me to call you CiCi?
Yes, that'll be fine. My husband is the one that thinks that my life story is all that in a bag of chips, just like yours. Yours is all that, a bag of chips with a Coke on the side. So he's been pushing me out there to speak, and people have been interested to hear my story of the trials and tribulations that I've been through. So here I am.
Oh my goodness. Well, I absolutely believe that we each have a story to tell. Absolutely. And I mean, thank him for getting you to share it. It is an incredible one, and I can't wait for people to hear it because you have been through a lot and you're still here, and I think that is a huge blessing.
We both have been. I
Oh,
was
sure.
reading something a little bit about yours, and the only reason I didn't go to the military when I tried because I was scared of needles. I was able to fight on the street, but when you came to a needle, I was like,
That is so funny. And I was sitting here and I'm like, 31 years. My daughter is a corrections officer and she started when she was 18. And
what?
I don't know how she does it. And I can't even believe that they let kids at the age of 18 start to work in a prison in the environment that she's in.
What state was that?
She's in Texas.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's in Texas. She attends Sam Houston State University, and she's there in the Huntsville area, and it's an all-male prison. She has seen things that I never thought I would. At 18, there's no way. So I'm curious. Yeah, this story. Oh my gosh, insane.
So she
I don't know.
but look at her mom's. Her mom's is a badass. So what would you expect?
I appreciate that. No, she certainly is stubborn ass like me. Because we told her we did not want her to do it, and she was like, "Well, I'm sorry. This is what I want to do." And I'm like, "Oh my God, okay."
Wow.
So, and I'm in Virginia, so I can't stop her. She's grown. So.
Wow.
Like, oh my God.
Wow. She's my hero now. Word is Shiro. She's my Shiro.
Insane. I just can't. But she wants to be FBI, so I guess they
Are
told
you
her
kidding me?
I'm not.
What did you guys put in her?
Well, yeah. We raised her to be independent, and she's obviously strong-headed, hard-headed, smart-ass, everything that I pretty much am right now. She is my mini-me, so I can't get mad.
Oh, she's awesome. You got to give it to her. She was born to be a hero, a Shiro.
She she is. We didn't think she was gonna make it, and I feel bad for saying that, but we didn't because she was always so girly. And then now, I mean, her mouth isn't. I'm not proud of her mouth. I guess you pick up some language, and when you're surrounded around men like that.
Yeah, yeah, but that'll taper off in time, I'm sure.
I hope
Especially
so.
when she gets to the White House, all of that will temper out.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And here it is. I did not want her to join the military. I'm like, which one? Which one should I have just went with? But
Exactly. But to me, that's awesome. And the reason it's awesome is because, how I grew up and how I developed into the person I am now. I'm in my 60s and I was one of the trailblazers, where women wasn't accepted. They were being assaulted in police cars in the back of police cruisers if they was trying to, be a police officer, and they would scare them away. And, so here I am retired and made it through police and corrections and immigration. But, I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in God. I believe that the closest thing that had fit my life was the movie 300. I don't know if you've seen the movie or not.
yes.
But being taken away from a stable home with a dysfunctional father just to get back at the mom and put me out there in the blizzard and in the rain, and I had to survive. But I am so blessed and humbled that I was chosen to serve. And I had to go through the trainings that I had to go through, like your boot camp.
That's incredible. I can't even imagine. I'm sitting here and I think I read it twice, and the things that you have been through, how how did you do it? I mean, I know faith in God, that's a huge thing because there are times where I'm sure, well, for some people, they would have been like, why is this happening to
Yes,
me? Where's God?
yes, yes. But think about it. Isn't that what the kids and the children say is like, why don't she let me go to this party? Oh, I hate her, or he is so mean to me. I can't have my way. They don't love me. Why? But as so we all, I think, go through that craziness, at different levels though.
Right.
But you was called to a much higher calling. I mean, look at you. You was called to a much more higher calling.
I appreciate that. It took a lot, obviously, to get here. And it's just, I really do feel like God kept me here for a reason. So I try to live
But
by
that's
that.
why you're doing this. This is your
Yeah.
time. This is your purpose. And you have a background, you have the training, you have the understanding, and you already was destined to be here to reach out to others, to open a door and show them that there's a way that they can connect. They don't have to live behind those closed doors.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, enough of me. Tell me about
Oh,
you.
okay.
You started with never meeting your birth mother.
No, I didn't. And the thing is, at the time, I did not know that this woman that took me in was not my birth mother. I was an infant. I was practically newborn, I was told. So, I didn't know. All I knew was when I was growing up, I used to look at her as she brushed her hair in the mirror and go, "Mommy, I want to be like you when I grow up." You know?
Mm.
So I was totally clueless until the reality hit me. Then it was like, oh my gosh, when I looked at my birth certificate, because I had to get it for a job or something. And I looked at it and I was confused. I thought it was wrong or incorrect. Or maybe her name was different then.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was a punch in the gut, a smack in the head. And Yeah, all of that and a bag of chips on the side. But yeah, it was that.
So how old were you when you found out, and how did your mother tell you?
Well, the way I found out was, I believe, when I saw the birth certificate after I went through the trials and tribulations behind it, because there was no one at that age who I was in contact with that I could really talk to. So because I became, that runaway. So about the age of 14, 15, I just traveling in life, I believe that I just kind of put pieces together. And I guess maybe this woman, her name is Ori. She's passed now. She crossed over. But through
Okay.
time, she would always find me. I mean, she would always find out where I was at. And there's times she tried to get me in the car with her, but because, at that time in my life, fear was so strong. I understand what it means when someone is so fearful they can't move. They're stuck. They're frozen in time.
Mm-hmm.
And she would try to get me in the car, or I remember the time she tried to send a taxi, and the guy was like, your mother sent me, come in. But, stranger danger at that time, I definitely wasn't going to do that. And when she tried, it was like my mind was saying, well, if this person is strong enough to take me away, how I know they're not going to take me away again. You know what I'm saying? So as a kid, you're going through all that. And at the same time, I've never been beaten the way I've been beaten. So I was just hoping she would have just came, reached out her hand, and just took me like that, just led me away. But I was so frozen and stuck. But then I look back and I'm glad I was, to be honest with you. Don't want to go through it again, but it made me a stronger individual, But the only way I found out in time was just going through life, when I put the pieces together, and probably when I saw her some other time in life, maybe she told me, but I don't remember her telling me. I think just life kind of showed itself in a way where I come to realize that she was not. And then I went through the mental anguish of saying, well, maybe she didn't want me. And that wasn't true,
Oh my goodness. So you continued with life. You wanted to be a doctor. You did amazing in
Yeah,
school.
yeah, yeah.
So what kept you going? Was it the faith? Was it the people that, raised you? That's
What kept me going? What do
to
you
be
mean
that,
what kept me going in
yeah.
terms of school or?
No, mentally, how did you excelled in school by skipping 2 grades, and then you wanted to be a doctor, and you were happy, and so how did you continue that strength?
Well, um, honestly, I'm going to go back for a minute and set the tone, but me not knowing that, but looking back now through my years, I believe that the door opened when I had this dream as a child when I was with Ori, and I was falling off this cliff. And as I was falling, instead of screaming and crying, I was calling God. How? I don't know. But all I know, I was calling God, calling God, calling God. And I got all the way down to the bottom of this cliff. And I would say a half inch or maybe even 3/4, but my nose almost touched the ground. But because my faith was so strong and I kept calling and calling all the way down to that point, I woke up. And when I woke up, there was such peace over me. I couldn't explain it, but then after that, I started having out-of-body experiences where I would travel. I would see things. I would have deja vus and all this other kind of stuff, but I had no clue as a child what was going on. But a lot of things started to happen, and I took that with me all my life up until, even at school, when, the bullies in school would, ball their fists up and show that they're going to punch me in the eyes and in the nose and the mouth, all that stuff. And I would look at the clock on the wall knowing that this big girl that looked like she's 18 in the 3rd and 4th grade, I was,
Oh my God.
I was scared. I was such a scaredy cat. I was scared of my own shadow. I was extremely timid, believe it or not. I was very timid. And one of the instances is at that time when I thought I was going to get beat up, I waited and stayed behind. And then I peeked outside and I didn't see her. So then I start walking home and I try to catch up to my friends, and I caught up with them. And all of a sudden I heard this huge boom. And I looked at my friends. Everything slowed down. And as it slowed down, I looked around and I saw the expressions of my friends. They were in shock. Their mouths was open and their eyes were huge, like something happened. So I turned to see what they was looking at. And this big girl, I assumed she hit me. And I didn't feel anything. I was covered. I didn't feel anything. And I looked at her. And when I looked at her, she had this terror that came over her. And she ran. And then I looked back at my friends, and then everything went back to normal. And they was like, "Oh my gosh, did you feel that? Did you feel that?" And I said, no. And so everybody was like, "How can you not?" It was all of that. And then I went home. So I had those kind of experiences growing up in my life. And then at a certain time, right before, and then I'm into God. So again, what happened was, I guess that was crazy faith, right? Because I was praying to God all that time during class. I didn't hear anything the teacher said. I was praying. And then before I ran away from this abusive woman's house years later, I was put into a martial arts school. Talking about boot camp. This
Wow.
martial art instructor saw me getting beat up all the time. I was getting beat up at home, black eyes, busted lips, extension cords all over my face or body from the whips. And there was no such thing as, I guess, as child abuse back then. So what happened was, he saw me getting beat up at school and at home. And somehow he crossed my path. I was put into the martial arts school. And there was no females really allowed back then into the martial arts, And it was all boys' school, so they wasn't having me, right? They was not feeling me at all. So they tried to get rid of me. But honestly, through all my training, I kept talking to God. Even through the push-ups, I was crying out to God. that was my anchor. It was always my anchor. It's just always was my anchor. And the day I ran away, I just was running. I didn't know how to pack or anything like that, but I had like a couple of pair of pants over my arm and 2 shirts or something like that. I don't know. And I just kept running and running through the backyards. And then I hit a fence. And I remember sliding down the gated fence, and I just cried my eyes out. And after that, I just tried to find a place to go, sleeping here, sleeping there, some of your school friends, they let you sleep in their basement up north or in their parents' car. Try sleeping in a car in the middle of winter. It's not cute. Yeah, I know about metal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Right.
That's how basically, honestly, I've always called on God. That was it. So regardless of how bad it got, who else was I going to call on? I wasn't going to call on a religion. What, you're going to put a gun to my head and say, oh, I'm a such and such and such. I'm a such and such. No, that's why I'm not into religion. Religion doesn't work for me. Okay. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you're having a parent, like a mom or a dad, and they have a name, It's like, I'm not going to call, Susie or Dave as my father or mother. I'm going to say, Dad, Mom. They know who they are. That's that connection, that relationship. Because you got 1,000 people named Rosie or Dave or whatever, but that parent knows their child's voice. When all those kids are in the playground and that one kid is saying, Ma or Dad, they know their child. And that was a good one right there. If I can say so myself, that was a good one. But honestly, that's just how it's been. That's just how it's been.
Yeah.
I had some coffee this morning. I'm really not a coffee drinker, so I'm a little hyper.
I hear you. Oh my gosh. So you survived all of this all the way into your adult years, and then you wanted to go into law enforcement.
Well, see, this is a story basically on that is that eventually I joined the gang because
Okay.
I wanted someone to love me like all children. I wanted to belong like all people. I wanted to feel connected. I wanted someone to speak up for me. I wanted someone to say she belongs, underline, belongs to us or with us or she's with us. I mean, I craved that. I craved that. And personally, when I saw how things was going with the gangs, that just wasn't who I was. And to fast forward, I saw the police department, how they would kick doors in, how they would plant drugs on people, how they would beat someone down with their clubs, or how they would shoot people. So from the pimps and the prostitutes and all the bad people, and there's a reason that they're bad, I found out. And then I see the cops, and I'm like, that's the gang I wanted to go to because you get paid for being bad. So why don't I get into the police department and I can kind of fade in and not do what they do, but still be protected and still be okay. And if something happens to me, you got a whole department that you have to deal with. They're going to come looking for you. And that was how I grew up. That's what I believed in, but I did not know that I was going to be the complete opposite of what they was doing, which put a target on my back a lot of times, but that was my calling.
So, oh my gosh, there's just so many questions. I hope you're going to be writing a book because I wish I could read everything that you sent me. It is so powerful, and obviously your belief in God's Holy Spirit is what kept you going. And it's just amazing because I don't know if I could have went through that. I'm sure there's people out there listening that would have been like,
Yeah,
"There's no way."
I didn't want to. I wanted to kill myself. I hated myself. I wish I was never born. Of course, I had to go through all those emotions. But what I've learned in martial arts or boot camp, whatever you want to call it, is that I had to be stripped down and rebuilt. So being stripped down means emotionally, psychologically, physically, mentally, and all I had left was spirit. That's all I had left. And so being shot at, being stabbed, being jumped, being abducted, and all that stuff, honestly, I had nothing left but God. I would cry out to God, even though our guts would say, I call that my spirit, don't do that. Do not go there. Do not go there. Oh, it's just my head. Maybe I should go. And then you go there, and then someone try to shoot you up. I mean, do I really need to be that hard head? When parents tell you don't go there, there's a reason. Maybe they've been there and done that. But no, what do we do? They don't know what they're talking about. And then we come whimpering back, Mom, Dad, you were right. A dog.
Yep.
Oh, that's what we try to tell you. Here's my scar. I was trying to prevent you, you know. But yeah, so when I got into law enforcement, then I come to find out there was these issues that men thought that they was all that in a bag of chips. My husband is standing over there looking at me like I'm crazy, but that's okay. He's smiling from ear to ear, like, yeah, all right. Yeah, like a bag of chips, like nothing, like everything they did was right. And I come to find out that they're hurt, but they can't show it. And in the law enforcement arena, you have to be tough. You had to be strong. Well, since I came from the streets and then dumped into the martial arts school, my attitude was I just wanted to be one of those. Do you remember the movie Kung Fu or the show Kung Fu? David Carradine. That was
Yes.
who I saw myself as. I was
Yes.
peaceful. I wasn't into all that other stuff. And I just wanted to give peace. I just wanted a family. I just wanted love. But if you mess with me or if I had to protect someone, I was capable of doing it. And that's just where I was. But that's not how the world is. So I was always out of place. I was out of place either in the different homes that I got thrown into. I was out of place in school. I was out of place in corrections, law enforcement, immigration. And then on top of that, as everybody knew me, but I was a loner. Go figure that out. I mean, I was dancing to the beat of Studio 54 and Paradise Garage, and I was in a gay community, and that was my family and my friends. And I could go to an all-males club, strip down, butterball naked, and I would not be bothered. And that's peace for me. That means no man is trying to sexually assault me. So that was a safe haven. And I would go there and dance for hours and hours. And I used to work at the clubs too. So, you know, that's part of my history too. So to be honest with you, when working in the prisons and the jail and in that whole law enforcement arena, when prostitutes would get locked up and people would look down on them, I couldn't, because some of them protected me from the pimps on the street. Some of them gave me food to eat. Some of them would tell me stay out of certain areas because they knew the pimps was in that area. So I think, and I know, I ain't gonna say I think, I know that everyone has a story. Everyone needs to be loved. It's just that because of the trials and tribulations, they've been in bondage. Doors has been locked, padlocks, the whole nine. But people like you and I and others that are like us, we are the light. We can open the door. We can show them there's a better way. That's why we're here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I am just so I am just so amazed at your, and I could just see you're
How did you
smiling,
know that? Where's the cameras?
and and to be where you are at today, no matter what you have gone through, that God was definitely with you. And it's just amazing because I know that I've gone through life where I lost my way and I was mad and
Yep.
it was like boohoo me, why me? When and I didn't until my mid 40s where I was like, okay, I see it. I get it. Things I get it now, but at that time it sucked and I was mad and
Mm-hmm.
it was never my fault. But it took, like you said, you were stripped down to nothing and then
Yes.
built back up again. It's just, and so it's hard for people to see that when they're going through their trials and tribulations. So it's just amazing to run into people like you that are just like, I got it. I went through it, but now I'm here and I live personally by your mess is your message. And so now your mess is your message. And now
Yes.
you are helping other people
At the jails and
get
at the
through.
prison, that's definitely one of the times that I realized that I was there because I could relate to the people. I was there also when, well, let me put it like this, the mark that was on my back. I could not understand why everybody hated me except for the inmates. And why was it that the inmates were protecting me? I couldn't understand, but it took time. But, I finally come to a realization what it was. But there are certain areas in the jail where you have the bad of the bad of the bads, and you're waiting for death row or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And they like kicking doors and just causing havoc in their cells. The problem is I would walk into a cell, and I'm not bragging on this at all because this brought me drama. I will walk into a 36 man unit, and everyone would start clapping and whistling and cheering. Can you imagine how all the other supervisors and other officers looked at me then? Why is it when I come in, I don't get piss thrown on me? I don't get feces thrown at me. I don't get grabbed or snatched by the bar and then trying to beat the heck out of me. Why is it when she comes in, everything quiets down? But it wasn't me. It was what was driving me. It wasn't me. Okay. It was what was driving me, what was covering me. And I spent time, my whole shift, and I will walk from cell to cell and I will speak to people. I would hear their pain and I would walk and I would talk. Now if it dealt with their court situation, I don't want to hear it because I don't want to be a witness to any murders or any confessions that I didn't want. So they would just tell me about how they grew up or where they're at in their pain or what have you. Now, some will lie for attention and some will be real, but God gave me that discernment. And then I would tell someone straight up, I would look at them in the eye and say, now that you have told me all that, I need you to go on your knees and ask forgiveness for lying. And when I come back around, let me know where you're at. And that's just how it was. So don't think that I had it perfect all the time because some people I had to drop kick to let them know if this is a test, you didn't pass. So I had that, but
right.
Mostly on my career, my problems were always the officers. Always the officers, police, corrections, immigration. It was always the officers because I just didn't walk the same attitude. Oh, don't give them no toilet tissue because they pissed me off. Well, they got to wipe their butt. So what are they going to use? I don't care. Uh, things like this, or their food is withheld for hours, and so I don't have those issues, thank God, So I dealt very differently. Yeah. And then at the last job I had, people used to line up and wait till I came to work to come to my office and speak to me. So it was always a problem, but and my husband, that's why he's getting me to speak about, my life, when it's like, well, don't everybody have a life? Everybody got a story. So what makes mine so different? And again, this is where I'm at. So yeah, but I've been beat up, jumped, stabbed, kicked, lied to, lied on, set up, whatever you want to call it. I've kind of been there.
It's shocking, and it's just, but no, absolutely, your husband's right. I mean, you have a story to tell, obviously, and what makes it different is because it's you. You're different. We're all made different, and you have so much to offer, and I can hear it in your voice because you're so passionate about it, and it's just amazing that you are willing to share it.
And not every female can make it through boot camp either.
There's no, you're right.
No, I was gonna say, because your boot camp wasn't easy, right?
No, it wasn't. I wanted to leave every single day, but somehow every day I'm like, what am I doing? Can I go home? I don't know how I did it, but I like we were talking about earlier with my daughter, she's been working at the prison for almost a year. How did the heck did you keep going for 31 years? I just, the things that you've seen and you've been through, I don't know. Like, I don't want her to stay there for that long, but it's, if that's in her heart, then that's what she
I think do. The only way I was able to do it was through the martial arts training that I had all my life. They helped strip me. They helped strip me, and the bad relationships I got myself into, because I was very codependent. I was codependent, and I guess I was needy and didn't know it. And I was doing everything for people because I wanted to be needed. So God had to deal with that as well. And that was one of the lowest points of my life, is when I moved to another state with this woman that I was in a relationship with. And she turns around and tells me not to come down, even though everything is set up and I'm sleeping on my friend's couch waiting for my papers to transfer to Virginia. And I was the captain, and I was being transferred to Virginia to another prison from New Jersey. And I hit rock bottom because all my stuff was there. I'm sleeping on the couch of a friend's house. I'm waiting for my papers. And then you're telling me not to come home because there's somebody else. And I'm paying the bills down there. And it was bad. So I hitchhiked a ride with a friend to Virginia, walked away from my position. And the only job that was open was a officer's job. I went all the way back down to an officer. The job was 3 hours away from where I was living. And I would travel 3 hours one way and 3 hours back another way. I will leave enough time to sleep on the road for half an hour, wake up, and continue the drive. I was harassed there because they wanted to know, if she's a captain, then how could she be an officer? She's a spy. So everybody thought I was a spy. No, I was broken.
Oh my God.
In the gun tower, I was thinking about how to take my life. When I got home, I was thinking about how to go out by suicide by police. Because I was left there. They left me for this other person. And here I am, broken. And that's another story for another day. But I made it through, obviously, because here I am. And if it wasn't for me being led back to the Bible, back to my knees, I put the alcohol down and I got moved to a jail. I got headhunter found me and moved me to Williamsburg to a jail there. And I got transferred over there, which was only 40 minutes, 40 minutes away. And I started trying to piece my life back together. But I don't know if you saw the movie with me. Was it with Houston? Well, I forgot who it was, but she took all his clothes out the closet, ran downstairs, set him on fire. Yeah.
The Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I love that movie.
Okay. So, yeah, right. So I did that. But I kept asking God, could they come back? Because during that transfer, there was a point where I wasn't getting paid. I had to wait. And I wanted to do that. That's how broken I was. And come to find out, when they said they would come back and help pay the bills because they was working now, you should saw me run downstairs, get all their clothes, try to put all my hangers, hanging everything back. Yeah, but again, back on my knees again, crying out. I had witchcraft put on me. I had people cooking my food, putting the administration in my food so I wouldn't leave. Oh, girl, I've had a lot of things going on in my life, but I had to go through it because I wouldn't be able to talk about it. Just like you.
That is so true. It's amazing. It's amazing the people we become after going through so much shit. It's just, and we're here to tell it. Oh, I am just so proud of you. Like it's absolutely amazing. We could sit here and we can complain about the littlest things, but then you run into people and you're like,
Yeah.
holy crap.
Yeah, like the job I'm at right
What?
now, I'm working with a security company, and every day I ask God why, and it's like, do I have to remind you? It's not about you. Get over your sweet self. Get a clue, you know. But this company is
Right.
so dysfunctional. But the thing is, the people again are being drawn to me, and they're coming to me broken. They're coming to me, letting me know they have Asperger's. People don't understand them. They're letting me know that they try to commit suicide or thinking about committing suicide. And I'm like, God, can I get away from this company? Can you put me somewhere else? No. Sit there until I tell you to move. Okay. But I'm here at the company until I try to resign twice. I know. Can you put a word in for me though? Maybe ask God to kind of like move me somewhere else,
He's got plans for you always.
And I just have to remember it's not about me, but I'm so in the military, you learn how to make your bed and you learn to be good at it. So if you have a bad day and you think you can't get nothing right, you look at that bed and go, I can do something right. But when you get out into
right, yep,
the civilian world where I'm at, it sucks. They don't have discipline. They don't have structure. And it's chaotic for me. I don't do well without discipline and structure. I'm not used to it. You know, even a gang has discipline and structure. Even a gang. And you tell me a multi-billion-dollar business can't have structure and discipline? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Jeez.
They
But,
need you to make
I mean, I don't
changes.
mean to be gross, but when I was sitting on the toilet that day at work, I've been there for 8 months now. And I was in a bathroom and I was like, God. And I'm sitting on a toilet doing my business. We don't need to go there. What kind of business? But I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there like, really? And I felt like a hand smacked me in the back of my head. Wake up and do what you're supposed to do and stop griping. Everything that I've given you, everything that I showed you, everything that I taught you, it's not about you. When are you going to realize that? So, you know, I'm doing my father's business. I ain't complaining.
Yeah. It's so hard. It is so hard to open up our eyes and our ears to see and listen what he has for us because of the situations we're in. But
I know, right?
There's a method to his madness. There's always a reason.
But what kept
we
you
don't
going?
see it. We're like,
look
are
at
you?
What kept you going?
Oh gosh, we could talk. We could talk about this for hours. That's a whole other topic. Yeah, no, a lot of things, but that's why I'm just trying to continue on the path that I think he has, that he's put out for me. So I'm going to keep going. But oh my gosh, CiCi, you need to keep sharing your story, keep being inspirational, keep being strong. This is amazing, and I can't wait to see what you will continue to do.
I appreciate you for sticking it through all those hard times.
Oh gosh, likewise. You're an amazing human, and
thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do, because we don't get many thank yous, in this world. Even though we give a lot.
Right. Yes, you're so right. Well, I hope to see a book in your future. If not, continue to keep sharing your story and just wait. He's got something
Thank
else
you,
for
thank
you.
you, thank you so much, and I want you to do the same.
I will. Thank you. It is. This has been great, and a blessing to speak with you and to hear your story. And
you and your daughter as well.
Blessings, so many blessings in the future.
You too.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you for listening to the Truths We Hide podcast, created by A Wild Ride Called Life. To find out more about our mission, visit www.awildridecalledlife.com.